What did we discuss already about the rural development project plan implementation and appraisal? About needs assessment, objective selection. Oh, okay. So today we'll be looking at planning, implementation, and appraisal of rural development projects. Planning, implementation. Oh, pajama limbihira wona nkesiwa. Yeah, planning, implementation, and appraisal of rural development projects. What is planning? What is a plan? Or maybe I can just ask, what is a plan? I'm sure you make plans almost each and every day. Even when you're coming here, I know you already laid out your plans about what you're going to do today. What is a plan? What is planning? Nia, what is planning? Ellen, what is planning? Or what is a plan? How can you define it? You make plans, you guys. You'll be like, my plans today, I want to do this. What does it mean to plan? Hmm? Mm-hmm. Something you put in order. Or when you want to take action. So that's a plan. You put your things in order so that you take action based on the plan, like on the things you have listed. Anything, maybe you can polish up. No, who will say something, Ellie? Hmm? Sikubwelako. But you're always making plans in your head. Hmm? It's what Nia said, a statement of how a thing is to be done. So it's the actions. You talked about how things is to be done. So it's what Nia said. So it's the process of determining the course of action that is necessary to be taken in the pursuit of a particular goal. So it means when you are making that plan, how things should be done, it means you have a goal that you want to achieve. So when you achieve a certain goal or achievement of one objective, so if you have objectives or a goal, you set your plans, how you are going. For example, if you want to, your goal is maybe to graduate with a distinction. Definitely you put up the actions. What is it that you are going to do to make sure you get a distinction? Yeah. So it is a written document setting out the activities, times, and budgets required to meet the set goals. It is a written document setting out the activities. So you have the activities, time, when are you going to do or conduct that activity, and the budget attached to it. So more especially when you are making a work plan, evening, or you are in third year, right? Yeah, when you will be doing your academic research, you have a segment where you write your research plan. So in your plan, you list all the activities, the time. So for example, if it's um, proposal writing, it will show proposal writing will be done in October, maybe from 1st to 30th October. That is if you're writing for a month, and it will cost this much. This month, questionnaire development, it will take this period, maybe 2 weeks or a week. So you don't say a week, but you specify maybe from mid-October to end October, about 2 weeks. During this period, I'll go to the field to collect data. Maybe it's for 2 months or it's for 3 weeks from this period from to this time. So I will require this budget. So that's a plan. So elements of planning. Let's look at elements of planning. So planning of rural development is very significant, and it could make or mark the success of rural developers. It's very important to make a plan, even in your day lives. That's why some people ask you, in the morning, do you even make a plan of how you are going to spend your day? So if you want to be successful in your day, you need to make a plan. So as social workers, rural developers, we need to make plan. We make plans of what we want to do, the activities, what that we are supposed to do. When are we doing these activities? So we need to make a careful plan. So carefully planned rural development action has a tendency to achieve stated objectives. Carefully planned rural development action. So if you, when making a plan, you need to be careful because it will help you to achieve your objectives. If you make your plan anyhow, like your activities, you may not be able to achieve your objectives. So if, for example, today you have something you want to achieve by the end of the day, and you don't make a proper plan, you end up maybe failing to accomplish some of the tasks that you planned during that day. So even in rural development, if you don't make a proper plan, you realize you are failing to achieve or you fail to achieve your objectives or your goals just because you did not plan well. So for you to successfully reach your goals, you need to make a proper plan. So in that way, you'll be successful. And the planning can be long-term or short-term plans. A short-term plan, a week, a day, maybe 6 months or month. For long-term plan, maybe a year, 2 years, whatever. So sometimes you may have short-term goals and also long-term goals. So it means for each goals, you need to set objectives. You need to make plans. So even the budget sometimes depends on the period of your activities. If you are implementing a project, for example, uh, for 5 years, you may need more resources. You may need more, like the budget may be more than when you have a plan for 2 days or a plan for a week, because the activities definitely might be simple for a week, unlike for 2 years or 5 years. So depending on the nature of the program, the target group, and the set objectives, you may have long-term plan or short-term plan. And the primary stage of planning, you need expert ideas. When you are making a plan, you also need expert ideas and you need extreme care. So sometimes, for example, you're making a plan, you don't know how to make a budget. Maybe those people from the finance department, they may need to be involved to help you in making the budget. So making a plan also needs expert ideas. Sometimes you may end up making a plan which cannot help you achieve your goals if you are not careful. So in planning road development projects, the following elements should not escape your mind when you are planning for road development projects. These elements should not escape your mind. You should put them in your mind. They should keep them in your mind. So the first element is that programs should be based on existing rural conditions of the target group. Programs should be based on the existing rural conditions of the target group. What is it that is inflicting the people's lives? What are the existing problems affecting the people's lives in that society you are working with? So existing, it means the problem is there the moment you want to address it. So you need to work on existing rural conditions of the target group. For example, maybe you have plans to deal with early pregnancies, but maybe for them, or maybe I should say, you plan to reduce school dropout, but for them, the existing condition is that they don't have food, they are hungry. So you need to deal with the existing rural conditions of the target group. and should also address the felt needs of the people. What is it that the people feels is a problem, not what we feel as planners, program planners, as a problem. So it means felt needs of the beneficiaries should be addressed. What is it that they feel is a problem? Sometimes what we feel is a problem may not be what they feel is a problem. What we feel is a problem, we may think, okay, maybe they need improved maize varieties. But for them, they'll tell you, no, we don't need improved maize varieties. Maybe they want fertilizer. They say, no, we want fertilizer. Or right now, we want food. So programs should address the felt needs of the people. That's why we do needs assessment. Those during needs assessment, you involve the beneficiaries or the target group, they get involved in the activity. So whatever is prioritized, it comes from the group itself, not you. And also existing cultural practices of the people should be considered. Existing cultural practices of the people. We need to respect the culture of the people we are working with. So if, for example, what can I say? If, for example, they don't believe in, for example, the Muslims, like they don't believe in like eating pork, and you are going there promoting pig production. It's like you are trying to deal with their culture. So, but you need to consider their culture as well. That's why even when you're going to the field, mostly women, we are encouraged to wear yeah. So the experience of well-trained agents and professionals should be utilized. Use the experience of well-trained agents or well-trained professionals. We may not know everything as social workers. Sometimes we may deal with issues that maybe they need experienced personnel. Maybe you are dealing with someone with a healthy issue. So you may need experience of a well-trained health expert to deal with that issue. So the experience of well-trained agents and professionals should be utilized. Osati kuti nenda ngophunzirako mklasi kungophunzira ngati course, you may not get all the information that is needed. So you may need to get someone who is well-trained, a professional, to help out. And local leaders should be consulted. Local leaders in the area you are working with. We don't just go to the field without consulting the local leaders. Timapita kwa mfumu kukafotokozera tabwera mmuzi mwanu muno tufuna tipange is otherwise it doesn't work. It's like you are trespassing if you just go to the field. Even when you are doing a survey, amati timakagogoda mukagogode kapena mukaodire kwa mfumeri, because it's his or her territory. You need to inform the chief. He should know, he or she should know what is happening in the area, not just get surprised like tikona fena akabwera pagalimo kakungozungulira. It doesn't work like that when you go to work in the field. So even during your proposals, if you go to the field to collect data, make sure you consult the chiefs before you go meet the people. And there should also be collective efforts of all relevant people in the area. Collective efforts. You need to include or to involve all relevant people within the area, in the area where you are working with. Everyone who is supposed to get involved. If it means religious leaders, the chiefs, the people, different groups within the area. So you need collective efforts, not just going by yourself to do something, but you need to involve other people within the area. So there should be a well-planned education and sensitization programs for the people as a necessity for collaboration, sensitization meetings, or educational programs or educational meetings with the people. You need to go there, tell the people what is it exactly that you want to do in the area. It enhances or promotes collaboration. They will collaborate if they are sisters. If you just go there with, maybe for you, you feel like um, it's something good for them, but what if they don't have knowledge about it? They cannot participate, they cannot easily get involved if they are not educated or they are not sensitized. So if you want people to collaborate, to take part in your activity, make sure you sensitize them. So when you're implementing projects, sometimes you go and conduct sensitization meetings with the people depending on the project that you want to implement in that area. Basic needs of the people should be carefully assessed. Basic needs. What are basic needs? For examples of basic needs? Shelter, clothes. Safina. I said clothes. Who said clothes? Oh, I thought it's you. Food. I thought it's Nia who said shelter. Okay, so you need to assess the basic needs of the people. Because that's what needs to be addressed first, the basic needs. Everyone is entitled to them. We need to have the basic needs. So you need to carefully assess, do these people have food, have a place to sleep, they have water, good sanitation. You need to check them out. And goals and objectives of the program should be carefully determined. Just as I said when I was explaining about a plan, the goals and objectives of the program should be carefully assessed. Otherwise, you may not achieve them if they are not carefully determined. So, depending on the assessments that you make, the problem that you identify in the field, you need to come up with goals and objectives. And if the objectives goal is something at is higher rank, while objectives is at a lower rank. So it means objectives, if you have a main goal, you have objectives below. So these objectives, they have to address the help you to achieve the goal. And local resources of the people should be assessed and utilized as much as possible. Local resources of the people, what is it that they have already? Then it needs to be assessed and utilized as much as possible. And to ensure sustainability, if they use some of their local resources, it becomes easier. For example, you are promoting maybe a certain variety of maize. Instead of promoting the use of fertilizer, maybe depending on the community, you say, okay, let's use manure. Because you know, even if when you go out, maybe they will be able to make manure by themselves and use it because it's cheaper, unlike using fertilizer. So you need to use local resources first. Maybe it's a village whereby they keep a lot of cattle, a lot of goats, chickens. You need to utilize those local resources as manure for crop production. Unlike promoting something that when the funding is over, the project is there. But for sustainability sake, you need to utilize local resources which are available to them. Are we together? Yeah. Even though I've made a lot of noise, but the statements are almost direct, easy to understand. Nia, any question? No question, madam, says Nia. Yeah, so let's look at rural development stages, rural development planning, implementation, and appraisal stages, the stages of rural development planning, implementation, and appraisal. So there are 6 of them, the stages. What is needs assessment? When we say we have to do needs assessment, what does it mean? What the communities are lacking. Yeah, assessing the problem of the community. What is it that they need? Yeah. So the stages are needs assessment, objective selection, prioritizing objectives, determining resources, program design, program implementation, and evaluation. So there are 7, not 6, as I said. Needs assessment. After doing needs assessment, you set objectives, select objectives which will help to address the problem you have identified. Then you prioritize the objectives. Which ones should be done first, or which ones should be done concurrently? Determining resources based on the what you have objectives on each objective, which resources will be required. Then you design the program. What exactly are you going to do? What actions are you going to do? The program is implementation is a real action now. You go on the ground. Whatever you planned, all the activities that you planned, you go in the field to perform them. If you said you do sensitization meetings, this is the time that you do sensitization meetings. And evaluation or appraisal. So you're trying to check if the objectives have been achieved, the main goal have been achieved. So let's look at each one of them. The first one is needs assessment, just as you said, which is the first stage of road development plan. When you are setting a road development plan, you need to do needs assessment. You need to check what exactly is affecting the people, the community you are working with. So it involves identifying the felt needs of the target group. If you remember when we were looking at the elements of road development plan, we talked of the things that you should make sure that is there. Make sure you target or you deal with the felt needs of the target group. What is it that the community feels is a problem to them? Because sometimes what we feel is a problem may not be a problem to them. For us, we may think that maybe early marriages is a problem, but if you go there, for them, it's not an issue. Sometimes in some communities, they even encourage these young girls and boys to get married. When are you getting married? So you need to identify the felt needs of the people. What is it that they feel is a problem? In most cases, like during this time, it'll be like jala, we don't have food. So when you are making your plan, know what exactly the people, the problem of the people. And here the planner try to sort out the real needs or problems of the rural community, the real needs of the community. Such needs or problems could be tangible or intangible. What can be the examples of tangible needs or problems? Lack of school blocks. Yeah. Yeah, so Gwiriga. Yes? What else apart from buildings? What else? Like school blocks? Bridge. Yeah. So the tangible problems are the ones that are visible to the eyes of the planner. You know, you see them. So, for example, bad roads, poor health services, lack of water, poor residential areas, poor drainage systems. Machida kuona kuti chipatala apa palibe. Those are the things that you need to deal with. Poor roads, bad roads, bad mulirongwe. There's my potholes everywhere. Yeah. What about intangible problems or needs? What can be the intangible problems? Poverty, crisis. Crisis, what kind of eh? Outbreak of diseases. Is it tangible or intangible? Is it intangible? Something that you can see. It's tangible. What else? intangible. Things to do with human rights, drought will be tangible. Semmazo ziri ababa zona ali maaso. Sintuzosagwirika nditu. So intangible problems are those that are not visible to the eyes of the planner, such as exploitative relationships between tenants and landlords, between one community and another, between money lenders and borrowers. This is just one example. There is also the issue of human rights violations. Some people's rights have been violated. The issue of discrimination. Unless maybe someone voices out. So to effectively address, so when you are dealing with problems of the rural areas, I know most focus is on tangible, but we should also focus on the intangible part here. So to effectively identify or assess such needs, instruments of survey methods can be used to identify or assess such needs, like maybe use of questionnaires. Sometimes you just send out the questionnaires, people fill out. Sometimes you have a questionnaire, you do interviews, personal interviews, individual interviews, sometimes focus group discussions, observations. More especially for some sensitive things, sometimes you just go and observe whatever is happening, not only for sensitive, but there are some issues that you just go and observe. You can see by yourself. Let's look at the issue of sanitation. If you go to the in the rural areas, uchida kuona ndithu kuti zithaphwi ndekuti zimazala zima latrines, like the way there are things, like you can see things are not okay. So sometimes some issues are better discussed in a group. You know, some people when you meet them, hey, but when you're in a group, when someone says, "Kono kuli chakuti," aliyese apeza kuti simukunama, like the whole group will support that idea. So sometimes you use one method, sometimes you need to use 2 or 3 methods to triangulate the data to check, because sometimes what you find during individual interviews, you may need to check that information to triangulate the data using maybe focus group discussions. Sometimes you find the exact issues that came out during individual interviews are the same problems coming out during focus group discussions or key format interviews. So a research expert could be used to find out or assess such needs. A research expert. That's why you find those people conducting surveys, asking people questions within the target community. So the second one is objective selection. Once the needs or problems of the rural community have been identified, the planner carefully draws out the objectives to be achieved based on the needs. So now you're coming up with objectives based on the needs that you have identified during stage 1, during the needs assessment. So it means the objectives will be addressing the needs that you, or the problems that you have identified. If it is an educational need, for example, given the fact that there is a higher illiteracy rate in the area, the objectives could be to achieve basic literacy, functional literacy, secondary education. If the objectives are not wisely set, the program may not be result. So based on the need, you may be required to select objectives or come up with objectives that help you achieve or to achieve the needs that you have identified, or to deal with the problem that you have identified during the needs assessment. So maybe like here example is high illiteracy rate in the area. It means that's what you have identified as a problem or a need in that area. So the objective should be to achieve secondary school education. Maybe there is high dropout rate. No, you want to encourage these students, young people, to reach secondary education. So that's how you'll be crafting your objectives, but it's based on the needs assessment, the needs that you have identified, the problems that you have identified. The third objective is prioritizing objectives. I think I need to take it somehow.